Sometimes we are so worried about and focused on having one, two, three, as I say this, just enough, simply enough to make it by, enough to complete this goal, enough to pay whatever, that we are literally overseeing, completely forgetting about the abundance. Sometimes we're not meant to just be receiving the bare minimum and enough to get by. Sometimes spirit, source, your ancestors, the universe, whoever, whatever higher power you believe in, want to give us an abundance of blessings, want to give us more than enough money, want to give us more than just that car you want. You might want a Honda Civic. What if they want to give you a Mercedes? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we're so worried about our little goals and about trying to make our little goals that we completely forget that, there is so much more that can be given to us. And it just kind of reminds me of like how the the divine's plan can sometimes be so amazing in ways that we don't think about. And I'm laughing at myself a little bit because the way this message came to me was so silly. But yeah, sometimes I will be sitting here like, oh, I just need to make sure I have this enough for this and that and the next. And it's like, I think it's important for us to realize where that comes from and to work on that, because a lot of that comes from scarcity mindset, that like mindset, that poverty consciousness where we're just trying to survive, where we've been in survival mode for so long. For a lot of us, it's generational trauma that has been passed down, and it's up to us to break the cycle. So literally, I recommend you guys, do your shadow work and everything, but like also, listen to subliminals, meditate on things to break, that scarcity mindset, things to like let go of those cycles and to let go of those blockages. Because, you might be thinking about, oh, I just want a nice job to keep me comfortable. What if, the universe wants you to have a dream job that you could have never even imagined existed, where you can help all these people and have more than what you want because you deserve more than what you're thinking about. I just sometimes we can think so small, but there are just such big plans for us. And I don't know, I feel like somebody needs to remember that, to like be reminded of this, to hear this. So of course our hopes that this finds like the people it's meant to find, that it resonates with who it's meant to resonate. I absolutely love giving messages like this from the heart that come directly from source. It's truly such a blessing. But I just, sometimes we need to remove those blockages and stop thinking so small to get to what we really deserve and to get to what spirit really has in store for us. Sometimes us wanting just enough is that blockage that stops us from getting to our goal, that stops us from getting to where we need to be. And I think that's why sometimes we can be redirected. Sometimes we get upset and like, I'm not getting what I want, and I asked for this and I prayed for this, but maybe what you want isn't good enough and you just don't know that yet. Maybe what you want isn't what spirit wants to give you. Maybe what you want isn't going to give you the happiness that you really deserve and that you thought it was going to grant you. I don't know, I just thought that was so interesting. And I feel like that's something I definitely need to think of, because I think it's really hard not to fall into that mindset, especially like, depending on your background, your ethnicity, like if you're from a family of immigrants, if you're like the eldest, like it's just like circumstances of life, especially as Black people, as people of color, Indigenous people, like it really lands us in this position. So I just want to make you guys aware of that. I love you guys. 1, 2, 3. Like I said, the next step is to acknowledge that, identify that, and start dreaming bigger, start asking for more. Stop praying for the random minimum. Ask for more. It's okay to ask for more. Your spirit team probably wants you to ask for more. I'm sure they're more than happy to give you what you ask for. I'm sure they want you to get used to dreaming bigger, to thinking bigger, so that when you walk into these unimaginable rooms, you are comfortable and you feel at home. Because you need to get used to thinking big in order to embody the energy that they need you to operate at. The universe has big plans for you. They need you to think, but they need you to act as big as you are. Your higher self, that girl, 444, always gonna be that girl, always been that girl. So you need to start embodying that and acting like that. And I just want to say, there's really messages in everything. Like it's if any of y'all are into video games, I've been playing Infinity Nikki, the new update came out, and I'm a little bit of a nerd. Man, I love numbers. I love numbers. What can I say? And I'm out here calculating how many of the currency I need to like get the limited edition, outfit and stuff. And then I was just playing the game and I was like, I have more than what I need. I'm going to have an abundance. I was just trying to get this amount, but I'm literally going to have an abundance. Way more than I could have asked for. There's actually so much more in this game that I could get. Like, there's just so much. I don't have to be worried about a shortage. That I'll have not only enough for this new outfit I want to get, but more outfits in the future. And that's just something I didn't account for, didn't calculate for, and yeah, anyway, good night. I love you guys.